Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the TGC Anniversary Series here for 2026, the third year I'm doing this, and we've got the second episode in the TGC Radio music channel videos. My favorite band is Against the Current, and I'm going to be ranking basically their whole discography by songs, not by albums, mainly because they have a few EPs and 2 official albums, though they're currently hinting at album number 3, so can't wait for that sometime later. But also because my thing has always been top 6s, blah 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 blah, I've explained it before, won't get into that. But I like to stick with the theming. So, we'll be doing top 20, and I've got 4 honorable mentions. So, that being said, my 4 honorable mentions are actually the first 4 songs from Chrissy's debut solo EP / basically album now, 7. I like the whole EP and I like the extra songs from the deluxe version, but I just wanted to personally shout out the first 4 songs on that album. But What If I Fly, If Looks Could Kill, 7 Minutes in Hell, and Pick Your Poison. Those first 4 I love, and my favorite song on there is But What If I Fly. Like, I love that song so much, and that chorus is just next level to me. And now, that being said, let's get into top 20 Against the Current songs, according to me. So, in at number 20, from Past Lives, we have PATT, or Pretty All the Time.
I'm already in my head. Don't tell me that I look better with my hair up, dressed up in makeup.
And, you know, I really like this song a lot. I mean, my favorite album from them, or favorite project of all albums and EPs they've done, is Past Lives. I know it's really just a pop record. Feel by Ramen told them to make a pop record, and that's what they ended up doing. I know, but there's just something with this band and doing, like, pop rock that just really works for me and really clicks with me. So while I do like the direction they've been in, starting with Fever, a lot, and I really, really wish we could have seen what the rest of Fever was going to be. Because we know it, or in case you don't know, Fever, Chrissy's talked about this before, Fever was half of an album, but due to the Fuel by Ramen getting out of the contract thing, well, admittedly, we'll probably never know what the other half of that was going to be. But, which is sad. But regardless, when they're doing pop rock, it does something to my brain. I like it a lot. And PATT, I think, is a huge, I think PATT is generally a really good deep cut on Past Lives. It's got a really good message, and alongside its message, it's also really fun. And everything just comes together in a way that I really like a lot. And it's number 20. But then, number 19, from Fever, we've got Jump.
What are you waiting for? Don't be afraid of wanting something.
Now, admittedly, when I got into all of the re-listening, because I had a big process for going through their whole discography again, for the purpose of this video, re-listening to everything, and I ended up doing like 3 different lists to eventually make my top 20. Initially going into all of that re-listening, I really didn't think Jump was going to make it, because it's never been my favorite on Fever, and it's still not. In fact, I would honestly say, going into the re-listening, that it was probably my least favorite on the EP. Genuinely. It's a song I liked, but it's like, yeah, there's so many other songs I like from everything they've ever done way better. It clicked with me a little bit more on all of the re-listens in preparation for this video, and it was able to find its way into number 19. And moving on to number 18, we have, from In Our Bones, Runaway.
Now, dancing on the street lights, strong comes twilight. You say yours when I'm calling you mine. See your name in the sidewalk credit.
And I've always loved this song. From the moment I actually dove into In Our Bones and listened to the whole album, I've always loved Runaway. And again, it's just this band absolutely killing it with just a great pop rock song. Runaway is just a really good, really fun pop rock song. But to quickly move on to number 17, we have, at the time of recording, their most recent release, the single Dead Man Walking. And again, going into all of the re-listening, I didn't really think Dead Man Walking was going to make the list initially because I liked it, but I liked it and still like it less than Heavenly, their other recent single. And like, again, I like it. I like how like rock focused they've been since Fever, and Heavenly and Dead Man Walking feels the most like that they've ever been, which is cool. But I wasn't totally won over by Dead Man Walking, but ultimately it is still a really good song, and I think it does enough to make the list here. But then, next up, we have Silent Stranger. Voices fill my head with noises, drink me of this poison. And again, another one where, admittedly, I didn't think it was going to make the list initially. Which, for the record, by the way, I'm saying some of this at the start of this video here, and I like almost everything this band has ever done. There's only one song that I do not like from this band, and funny enough, it's their biggest hit, which I know. If you know the band, you know what the song is. And like, I don't hate that song, by the way. It's just fine and doesn't do a whole lot for me. But I'm happy that, you know, it's as huge as it is. Because any more recognition for this band is good. But yeah, it is kind of unfortunate that's like the one song I don't really like from the band. It's literally their biggest hit. And I can't help it. I wish I liked it more. It does nothing for me. Anyway, tangent aside, Silent Stranger. Yeah, I always really liked Silent Stranger. But again, compared to like all these other songs that I like so much from this band, I thought this one would be a little bit lower in my initial ranking of all the songs. But on the re-listen, yeah, I just liked it a little bit more. It clicked with me a little bit faster, and it got in here. Next up, we actually have two songs in a row here, from their 2025 4-track bonus tracks EP, which are all clearly B-sides, and these two songs, the middle two songs on that EP, I immediately kind of like fell in love with. I love these two songs so much, and I think if my theory on them is correct, and I've got them kind of like pegged as the right eras they come from, if I'm right on that thinking, I think they easily could have made their respective albums. But first things first is Eyes Like Guns, which I think is... I think Eyes Like Guns would be super fitting on Past Lives. It feels like a Past Lives B-side to me, and I love this song so much. Again, I've got this connection to Past Lives anyway, and it's literally one of my favorite albums of all time. Not just my favorite album from this band, but yeah, one of my favorite albums of all time. And it just works for me. And this song, if I'm right on that thinking, that it is a Past Lives B-side, it easily could have made the record. And that's saying a lot because I love everything on that record. I don't think there's a single skip on it. But I think this could have fit in and worked super well. Though, you could also make an argument, and I would believe you, if you said it could fit on Inner Bones. I think that could be too. You know, I could totally see it actually being a bit of like a... kind of like an Outsiders situation where Outsiders was in between Gravity and Inner Bones. I could see this being, Eyes Like Guns being that kind of thing where it's in between Past Lives and Inner Bones. Regardless, I like the song a lot. It's just super fun, super catchy. And then the next one is if you know the bonus tracks EP, you know the song. It's Steal the Night. Which initially I liked Eyes Like Guns more, but again, on all the re-listening, I just kind of liked Steal the Night even more. And yeah, this one to me feels super in our bones. I love this song, and honestly, seeing as how I don't love the whole album on In Our Bones, I think this song could have fit. Now, again, in saying that, I liked all of In Our Bones. I do think it's a good album, but I think it starts to fall off a little bit with the last few songs. But I do like the whole thing, and I do think Steal the Night is really good. And again, if my thinking is correct and it's a B-side for In Our Bones, I think it easily could have found a home on In Our Bones. But next up, we have Fever again. Biggest song on Fever, I believe, and that is Weapon. And Weapon is, what can I say about Weapon, to be honest? I feel like this is a pretty huge song for this band, all things considered. And yeah, it's a great song. It really shows, like, the band focusing on more of, like, a rock sound can work. It just shows that this band going from pop rock to basically just rock can work. The verses are all really good. That chorus feels impossible to not want to sing along with Chrissy, and it hits pretty hard, but it's also still super accessible. Yeah, I think Weapon works really well, and that's why it's made my list here. But then we're going to jump back to In Our Bones, because we have one of my favorite songs on that record. In fact, I think, according to this list, it is my favorite song on that record. It is Young and Relentless. And again, when I talk about this band just killing it with, like, a little bit faster paced, more upbeat, fun pop rock, this may be, like, the best example of that, to be honest. Like, I think they absolutely kill it on Young and Relentless. I think it's easily one of the best songs on In Our Bones, while still fitting in completely with the rest of that album. It works super well. I like it so much, and it easily made my list. I knew it was always going to make my list. But after that, we have Past Lives again for the next few. In fact, the next 4. Can you tell I like Past Lives? Almost the entire album made the top 20. The first song we talk about is one that, for whatever reason, just kind of makes me feel good, and that's I Like the Way.
I like the way the sun felt me rolls over the freeway.
One of the few times it feels like Chrissy is talking about a relationship, but in a more positive light. And I think it works really well. Again, it's a fun pop song. I like everything about it, and it just kind of makes me feel good. Next up is a song that I believe Chrissy has actually talked about writing lyrically about her own anxiety, and that's Voices.
My head's chained down by the voices. It's looking like they want war again.
And Voices I like a little bit more than I Like the Way. This is one of the few songs that really emphasizes the rock and, Against the Current's pop rock on Past Lives. I really like Dan's guitar work. Like, I'm a big sucker anyway for electric guitar and, like, distortion in pop music. I like that stuff a lot. And I think, funny enough, and I guess it makes sense in a way because this music, like pop music, doesn't do it very often. So whenever you have, like, actual, like, guitar that's more than just, like, acoustic in a pop song, I feel like the guitar parts are a little more interesting. At least compared to, like, just regular rock anyway. Because obviously, if you get into, like, heavier genres and metal and stuff like that, your guitar work is always going to be more interesting there. Unless it's modern metalcore, because then you're just not doing anything with your hands anymore. You're just kind of keeping them in the same spot, baby. That's it. I really like Dan's guitar work on Voices. It works really well for me and is easily one of my favorite songs. Also, one of my favorite songs from that album is Almost Forgot.
And don't forget all that we've been through, but that's just it, yeah, I'm sick of this shit. I don't want forever if it's with you.
And this was a huge sleeper hit for me. And to see it this high up is kind of crazy in a way. Because, I always liked the song, but I didn't think too much of it. But I've just been making random work playlists. I threw Almost Forgot into one of those, and it just, started hitting, time after time, every single time, the shuffle would have it come on. It's okay, you know what? I really like this. And then coming to the re-listen, the few re-listens for the whole video, it works. I really love the song now. And it's more than just a sleeper hit for me. But then, finally, we finish off Past Lives in the list. And it is my favorite song from Past Lives, and one of my favorite songs from the band, and that's Friendly Reminder. Friendly Reminder, it's one that I really can't put into words very much, besides, it really is just one that makes me feel good, I really like this song. It's got a pretty positive message at the end of the day, and it's just, I'm sure we've all got those songs that just, you hear it and it makes you happy, and that's Friendly Reminder for me, Funny enough, Blink-182's Always is also one that just makes me happy to hear it. But yeah, Friendly Reminder just makes me happy. It makes me feel good, and it's easily my favorite song on Past Lives. And one of my favorites from the band. But next up, we come back to Fever for a couple of songs. And the next one is the closing track on that EP. It's Lullaby. And yeah, this is one I've always liked a lot. I love that chorus again. It's always been next level to me. And yeah, Lullaby just works super well for me. And we also come into one that I've always liked a lot, but was also a little bit of a sleeper for me, and that's Again and Again. For whatever reason, yeah, the more I've come back to Again and Again, it just works super well. And then by the time we get to that bridge with the feature from Garden, who I'm not familiar with at all, but when they come in, I love that feature and the vocals there. And then the way we come back into the final chorus, yeah, it works super well. And another sleeper hit for me was Wildfire. Because, funny enough, this being the first song they released after Fever, an EP that I really liked a lot when it came out, that I just kept spinning over and over again. This being the first release after that, it didn't win me over initially. The more I've come back to it, the more I like it. To the point now where it's genuinely one of my favorite songs that the band's ever made. But we come back to Fever for my favorite song on that EP, and one of my favorite songs on the band, and that is Burn It Down. And yeah, Burn It Down's always been my favorite on this EP. Friendly Reminder wasn't always my favorite on Past Lives. Young and Relentless was not always my favorite on Inner Bones. But Burn It Down, I think, has always been my favorite on Fever. And yeah, as a whole song, it just works for me. Simple as that. Next up is Blindfolded. Now I can't stand still, should be running free, and all these nightmares used to be daydreams. The second single, I believe, released after Wildfire. The band just kept pushing forward, absolutely killing it, and this song is so good to me. And again, that chorus, I love the start of the chorus especially. Now I can't stand still, should be running free. I love that so much. But then, number 2 on the list, and that is Good Guy. Don't make me laugh. Fuck, I'll never tell you how to love like that. which is one of the few examples I do agree with calling it pop punk. Because again, they get the pop punk label so much, and I vehemently disagree with that. I really disagree with it. I don't think that they're pop punk at all. They were just a pop rock band who put out one pop album, and I think they're just kind of rock now. I don't think they're pop punk at all, minus a few songs. I think they have a few that fit the category. Like Talk and Good Guy both are pop punk. Like, that's just it. They are. That's like the closest description for both of those, but outside of that, I don't think the label fits. But regardless, Good Guy, I would call a pop punk song, and I think it works super well. But finally, we have one of their two newest songs, and they only have two at the time of recording and probably uploading, so you know which one it is. I mentioned earlier, and that is Heavenly.
I'm too tired now, please don't want from me.
Heavenly, funny enough, like Dead Man Walking feels a little bit different from the stuff they've been doing fairly recently. But Heavenly to me feels like, just like continuing on the path where they were, and I think it works super well, and I think, yeah, they've been killing it on that path. And it's funny because I really thought, for the first Against the Current song, post Chrissy doing the solo stuff, right, where, like, genuinely a lot of what she released solo, without the guys was heavier than Against the Current, genuinely. And I was kind of expecting maybe some of that heaviness to come out in the new Against the Current material, and maybe like a little bit on Dead Man Walking. But Heavenly, no, I think Heavenly fits right in with right where they were kind of moving along. But you know what? I think it works super well, and it's maybe recency bias. Call it that if you must, but as of right now, it's genuinely my favorite song from the band. And we'll see if it can stick when they release some more and hopefully put out that third album we've been long anticipating. Yeah, that's really all I got. And with that being said, that's all I got. So we'll see how it goes. I hope you enjoyed this edition of the TGC Anniversary Series here in 2026. I hope you check out more of the Anniversary Series here on this channel, as well as my other channels, which are also getting videos for the next 32 days. For the next however many days, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, leave a like, comment below, share on social media, and all that good stuff. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye, guys.